Hello Lakers fan, if you are one of those who are always up to date with the news about our Lakers, then you need to stay tuned to what is coming up on our Lakers news channel. I am preparing exclusive coverage on the possible signings of Lakers, and what I can tell you is that rumors are catching fire on social media, and if you don't want to miss any information, stay tuned. We have exclusive news every day. If you are a true Lakers and don't want to be left out of the news, be sure to subscribe. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Let's go to the video.
Dorian Finney-Smith didn't dwell on player option. His focus was on the team. Dorian Finney-Smith played a crucial role in the Los Angeles Lakers' turnaround during the 2024-25 season. While the blockbuster trade for Luka Doncic understandably stole the spotlight, it was Finney-Smith's arrival that quietly transformed the team's defense, taking it from one of the league's worst to a reliable top-tier unit. That improvement was no accident. Trading D'Angelo Russell and second-round picks to the Brooklyn Nets in exchange for Finney-Smith turned out to be one of the smartest moves LA made. His smart defensive rotations, size, and reliable three-point shooting gave the Lakers something they'd been sorely missing in recent seasons. Still, trading for Finney-Smith came with some risk. He holds a $15.4 million player option for the 2025-26 season. That gives him the flexibility to opt in and become an expiring contract, or opt out and test the waters as an unrestricted free agent. Fortunately for the Lakers, they hold his bird rights, so they're not bound by cap space limitations when it comes to re-signing him. And while there's potential for an extension in LA, Finney-Smith himself isn't in a rush to decide. "Nah, not really," Finney-Smith said when asked if he'd thought about his future. "I was just focused on helping us get to the second round, man. I'll worry about that stuff during the draft, summer league, when the time comes." There's a shared sense of disappointment that the Lakers couldn't get past the first round for a second straight year, despite clear upgrades to the roster. But it's also clear Finney-Smith is fully bought into what LA is building. Now 32, Finney-Smith may not get many more chances at a sizable contract. So opting out and exploring free agency could make financial sense. But truthfully, the most likely outcome seems to be a new deal that keeps the versatile forward in purple and gold. Time will tell, but with the type of roster the Lakers are trying to build, Finney-Smith is exactly the kind of player they can't afford to lose. Luka Doncic expected to sign long-term extension with Lakers this summer. One of the biggest moves still on the horizon for the Lakers this offseason is locking down Luka Doncic with a long-term deal. He becomes eligible to sign a 4-year max extension starting in early August. According to recent reports, Doncic is fully committed to staying in LA, and sources say it would be a major surprise if a deal doesn't get done this summer. That commitment from Doncic has sent a strong message throughout the league. Los Angeles isn't just looking to compete, they're aiming to contend for years to come. And that sense of direction could be a key factor in Finney-Smith's decision. Playing alongside a generational star like Doncic, in a city like LA, with a front office actively reshaping the roster around winning, those are rare ingredients for a player in the latter stage of his career. League insiders have noted that Finney-Smith has become a respected voice in the locker room, especially among younger players. His no-nonsense approach, combined with a deep understanding of team defense, made him an immediate cultural fit with head coach Darvin Ham's system. And it didn't go unnoticed. "Dorian gave us an identity we didn't have before," one Lakers assistant reportedly said. "He held guys accountable without ever being disrespectful." That kind of leadership is hard to quantify, but it matters. While fans and analysts continue to speculate on how the Lakers will manage their cap space, there's growing optimism that the front office is preparing to make competitive offers not just to Doncic, but also to retain key contributors like Finney-Smith. Rob Pelinka and the Lakers executive team are said to be weighing their options carefully, knowing that the new CBA penalizes teams more harshly for exceeding certain spending thresholds, but also understanding the value of continuity on a contending roster. Around the league, rival executives are watching closely. Several teams have already expressed interest in potentially prying Finney-Smith away should he hit the open market, viewing him as an ideal 3-and-D piece for playoff-caliber lineups. But there's a growing sense that LA has the inside track, not just because of finances, but because of fit. "Dorian isn't just chasing money," a source close to the player said. "He wants to be in a situation where he's respected, where the team has a real chance to win, and where he can make an impact." Right now, LA checks all those boxes. As the off-season heats up and the draft approaches, all eyes will remain on the Lakers' front office. With Doncic's extension looming, decisions on Finney-Smith and other rotational pieces will shape the team's trajectory for years to come. If the Lakers want to capitalize on their current momentum, and avoid wasting another prime year of Doncic's career. Retaining battle-tested veterans like Finney-Smith could be just as important as any marquee signing. Jackson Hayes respected J.J. Redick's decision to bench him in Game 5 against Timberwolves. Jackson Hayes found himself in a drastically different role late in the 2024-25 season. After serving as a reliable big off the bench for most of the year, the Lakers elevated him to the starting lineup following the blockbuster trade that sent Anthony Davis to the Dallas Mavericks in exchange for Luka Doncic. It didn't take long for Hayes to show his value in the new-look Lakers offense. His chemistry with Doncic was immediate and effective. Hayes thrived as a rim-running lob threat, a perfect complement to Luka's elite playmaking. For a while, it looked like Hayes had carved out a vital role in LA's new core. But the playoffs, especially against a rugged Minnesota Timberwolves team, brought adjustments. As the Lakers tried to find the right lineup combinations to match Minnesota's versatility and physicality, head coach J.J. Redick leaned more heavily on small ball lineups. Hayes saw his minutes shrink throughout the series, and by Game 5, an elimination game, he was benched in favor of Dorian Finney-Smith. Despite the high stakes and personal disappointment, Hayes handled the move with professionalism and maturity. "I mean, they told me," Hayes said post-game. "They were straight with me in just saying to stay ready, and they were going to try some other things out. That was the coach's decision, so I respect that always." The rationale was clear. The Lakers were struggling offensively with Hayes on the floor, and Redick hoped more floor spacing would help open things up. Unfortunately, while the small ball lineup offered more offensive fluidity, it also exposed LA's vulnerabilities, especially on the boards and at the rim. Hayes might have been able to help in that regard, but the game underscored a broader issue. The Lakers roster lacked the balance and flexibility needed to thrive deep into the playoffs. While Hayes brings value as a rim protector and vertical spacer, he's at his best when used situationally, not as a full-time starter tasked with filling the void of a player like Anthony Davis. Now entering unrestricted free agency, Hayes faces a pivotal summer. Still just 27, he has shown enough flashes to earn interest across the league, but a reunion with the Lakers isn't off the table. If LA adds a more traditional starting center, Hayes could seamlessly return to his ideal role as a second-unit energizer, and he's unlikely to command a large salary, making him a cost-effective depth piece. Timberwolves took advantage when Hayes was off the floor. The Timberwolves, particularly forward Jaden McDaniels, noticed a difference when Hayes wasn't on the court. Minnesota attacked the rim relentlessly in the series, driving for layups, finishing dunks, and generating wide-open looks from beyond the arc. McDaniels, who had one of the best defensive stretches of his season, acknowledged that he felt more confident and aggressive when Hayes wasn't protecting the paint. That insight underscores just how important rim protection remains, even in an era that emphasizes spacing and pace. The Lakers' commitment to small ball may have had its offensive logic, but defensively, it left them exposed. As the Lakers prepare for a pivotal offseason, aiming to lock down Luka Doncic long-term and reshape the roster around him, depth and size will be at the top of the priority list. Whether Jackson Hayes is part of that plan remains to be seen, but if he returns, it will likely be in a role better suited to his strengths, and one that reflects the lessons learned from this postseason exit. Lakers face tough questions about roster construction after early exit. The decision to bench Jackson Hayes in Game 5 was just one of several lineup gambles the Lakers made during their first-round series against the Timberwolves. In hindsight, those decisions highlight a larger issue. The Lakers were a team caught between two identities, trying to be fast and switchable on defense, but lacking the size and physicality that defined their recent championship DNA. J.J. Redick's willingness to experiment with rotations showed adaptability, but it also revealed how few reliable options he had at his disposal. Without a true anchor in the paint after trading away Anthony Davis, the Lakers became overly reliant on perimeter defense and inconsistent shooting. Analysts around the league were quick to point out how LA's roster imbalance contributed to their early exit. On ESPN's NBA Countdown, former player and analyst Richard Jefferson commented, "Hayes is a role player who gives you energy and effort, but when he's your best rim protector in a playoff series, that's a red flag." The Lakers just didn't have enough depth in the front court after the trade. Internally, the Lakers front office is aware of the flaws. League sources suggest that Los Angeles is targeting frontcourt help in free agency and could explore trade options to acquire a stretch five or defensive-minded center who can play alongside or behind Luka Doncic. While Hayes could return, his role would likely be reduced, something he may or may not be willing to accept, depending on market interest. Hayes' free agency market could be modest but competitive. Despite the playoff benching, Hayes is expected to draw interest as a low-cost, high-upside backup center. Several teams, including the Charlotte Hornets, San Antonio Spurs, and Indiana Pacers, have reportedly monitored his situation and could make a move if they miss out on bigger-name big men in the free agent market. Hayes' appeal lies in his athleticism, shot-blocking potential, and ability to finish around the rim. In the right system, one that doesn't ask him to do too much, he can be an impactful bench contributor. His maturity in handling adversity during the playoffs only strengthened his reputation as a good locker room presence. What it means for J.J. Redick and the Lakers moving forward. For J.J. Redick, this offseason represents a major test. After stepping into a high-pressure role with zero prior head coaching experience, Redick earned respect for his communication skills and openness with players, traits highlighted by Hayes himself. But playoff basketball is ruthless, and Redick will need to work closely with GM Rob Pelinka to fine-tune the roster and avoid the mismatch of pieces that doomed this postseason run. The Lakers are committed to building around Luka Doncic, and a successful contract extension this summer would anchor the franchise's vision. But to truly compete in the West, against teams like Minnesota, Denver, and Oklahoma City, they'll need more than just star power. They need balance, depth, and a clearly defined identity. Whether Jackson Hayes is part of that future remains to be seen. But one thing is clear, in today's NBA, even bench players can shape the outcome of a series, and Hayes' benching was one of several moments that told the story of a team still in transition. 3 contract paths Luka Doncic can take with the Lakers, and why the franchise is all in. Luka Doncic's playoff debut in a Lakers jersey didn't go as fans had dreamed. After a league-shaking trade brought the Slovenian superstar to Los Angeles, expectations soared. But his first season in purple and gold ended in disappointment, with an early playoff exit and more questions than answers about what comes next. The trade that changed everything. Back in February, the Lakers made a bold move. They sent Anthony Davis, Max Christie, a 2029 first-round pick, and other assets, including Jalen Hood-Schifino, to Dallas in exchange for Doncic, Maxi Kleber, recovering from injury, and veteran Markieff Morris. The message was clear: Luka was the future of the franchise. The transition, however, wasn't smooth. Still managing a nagging calf strain, Doncic wasn't at his explosive best. He was still brilliant, but lacked the spark that had defined his years in Dallas. It quickly became obvious: he needed the right pieces around him to succeed. The center search that fell apart. To maximize Doncic's unique game, the Lakers prioritized finding him a dependable frontcourt partner. A deal was nearly finalized with the Charlotte Hornets for rising big man Mark Williams in exchange for Dalton Knecht and a 2031 first-round pick. But when Williams failed his physical, the trade collapsed. With limited options left, Rob Pelinka pivoted to signing Alex Len and rookie Trey Jemison III. Neither proved to be a reliable fit. Head coach J.J. Redick leaned into small ball lineups out of necessity, but in the playoffs, that gamble backfired. Against the Timberwolves, the Lakers were outmatched inside. They lacked rim protection, lost critical rebounds, and were bounced from the postseason in just 5 games. Luka holds the keys to the Lakers' future. Now, all eyes turn to the offseason, and to Luka Doncic's decision. On August 2nd, he becomes eligible to sign a max extension, and the Lakers are prepared to do whatever it takes to keep their franchise player long-term. Here are the 3 primary contract options on the table. Traditional max extension. A 4-year deal worth $229 million, signed this summer. Simple, straightforward, and secure. Strategic short-term extension. A 3-year, $165 million extension with a player option in 2028 to 29. This would allow Luka to hit 10 years of NBA service and become eligible for a 5-year, $418 million Supermax, the largest possible contract in league history. Early free agency bet. Luka could decline his 2025 to 26 player option and become an unrestricted free agent next summer. If he re-signs with the Lakers then, he could earn $296 million over 5 years. If he chooses to leave, other teams could offer 4 years, $219 million. According to reporting from The Athletic's Jovan Buha and Sam Amick, the Lakers are fully prepared to accommodate any contract structure Doncic prefers. The front office sees him not just as a star, but as the face of a new era. LeBron's legacy, and what comes next. Meanwhile, LeBron James is weighing his own future. Set to enter his 23rd NBA season, LeBron has already expressed that the franchise should revolve around Doncic. "Luka knows how much he's loved here," he said. And the message is clear: while LeBron may still play a role, it's Luka's team now. As the Lakers enter a pivotal offseason, their priorities are obvious: add size, bring in rim protection, and build a sustainable contender around Doncic. The failure against Minnesota hurt, but it hasn't shaken the franchise's belief in their new direction. The next chapter in Los Angeles begins with Luka's decision. And if the Lakers can deliver the right supporting cast, there's every reason to believe Doncic's second playoff run in LA could look very different from his first. The ripple effect: how Luka's decision shapes the entire offseason. Luka Doncic's upcoming contract decision isn't just about numbers, it's about setting the tone for the Lakers' future. Inside the organization, there's a deep understanding that retaining Doncic isn't simply a roster move, it's a foundational pillar for everything the team wants to build. According to sources close to the team, General Manager Rob Pelinka has been in constant communication with Doncic's representatives, not only discussing contract terms but also roster direction, coaching philosophy, and long-term vision. Doncic isn't just being asked to stay, he's being invited to help shape the franchise. This offseason, every move the Lakers make will likely be viewed through the lens of how does this help Luka. From free agent targets to draft strategy, the front office is committed to surrounding him with the pieces he needs to thrive. Lakers wishlist: size, shooting, and a defensive anchor. One clear takeaway from the playoff loss to Minnesota was that the Lakers lacked interior presence and defensive versatility. With Anthony Davis gone, LA desperately needs a big man who can protect the rim, anchor pick-and-roll defense, and relieve Doncic from having to carry the entire burden of shot creation. While the failed Mark Williams trade was a setback, the Lakers are expected to pursue other options, both veteran and developmental. Names like Isaiah Hartenstein, Nick Claxton, and even a potential reunion with Jonas Valanciunas have surfaced in early discussions. The goal? Give Doncic a true pick-and-roll partner who can finish above the rim and hold the paint on defense. Shooting is another priority. Though Doncic is a master at creating looks, the Lakers' floor spacing crumbled when shooters went cold in the playoffs. Expect the team to target reliable wings and stretch forwards who can knock down open threes and hold their own defensively. LeBron's role: mentor, star, or something else? While Luka's future is the top story, LeBron James' status remains a major subplot. He holds a player option for the 2025-26 season, and though he hasn't announced his intentions, the general feeling is that if Doncic commits long-term, LeBron will stay for at least one more year, perhaps in a reduced, more strategic role. Insiders say LeBron has embraced the idea of transitioning from the guy to the guide. His presence in the locker room still commands respect, and his basketball IQ could be invaluable as Doncic grows into the undisputed face of the franchise. Still, the Lakers are preparing for both scenarios. If LeBron returns, they'll need to manage his minutes and optimize his usage. If he walks away or retires, they'll have even more cap flexibility to work with, but will also lose a massive leadership voice. League-wide watch: pressure and expectations. Across the NBA, front offices are watching the Lakers' next steps closely. Doncic is one of the few players in the league capable of tilting the championship picture on his own, and if LA fumbles this opportunity, either by losing him or failing to build around him, there will be consequences. Some rival GMs are quietly hoping Doncic doesn't re-sign right away, creating a sliver of uncertainty that could tempt him down the line. Others believe that the Lakers are too big, too committed, and too strategic to let that happen. In short, the stakes couldn't be higher. This offseason won't just determine how the Lakers look next season, it will decide whether or not they can contend for years to come. Doncic's choice is the franchise's turning point. For all the disappointment that followed this season's first-round exit, optimism still pulses through the organization. They have their superstar. They have the market. They have the resources. Now they just need the plan, and Doncic's signature. The belief inside the Lakers front office is unwavering. Luka Doncic didn't come to Los Angeles for a quick stint. He came to build something historic. And if both sides follow through, this summer could mark the beginning of the next great chapter in Lakers history.